We're going to be talking about the future of music, art, and culture with Jack Gallagher, Noah Cook, Dina Fanai, Angela Whaley, and Biba. Let's give it up. Oh, and this is Angela. Give her an extra round of applause. Working at NFT.NYC, the orange shirt, helping to make this happen. Angela.
All right.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everyone. My name is Jack Gallagher. I am a project manager, concept designer. My primary project is Wicked Craniums, but my real goal is just to authentically bring music and 3.0 together. We can talk a little bit about how that's been going, but I think we're just going to have a philosophical, exciting conversation here.
We're going to start with Dina. Nakumpenda Maleha Haika Nakumpenda Maleha Haika Nakum penda maleha haika.
Thank you, Dina. I'm Biba, and I am an audio-visual NFT artist, and I am here to have this philosophical debate about what NFTs mean to the future of art, music, and culture. I have a background as a meditation teacher and a deep philosophical kind of approach to what technology has meant to consciousness and the evolution of our societies all around the world. Since Web 1, really. And so I'm really excited to be discussing that here in the context of Web 3.
My name is Dina Fanai. I'm a recording artist, songwriter, producer, and creator of Avalona, an immersive musical. We kind of wanted to start today with that prayer. It's in the thousands of shows I've done and talks I've done, I always start with that because for me, we each have a journey, a voice, a vision, and a sacred story as artists, and it is our job and our opportunity to share those stories with the world, which is exactly why I believe we're all here. And even though Web3 and NFTs can get really, really technical and really confusing, as we all know that it's been the Wild West, but I believe the foundation and the core of this ecosystem is about us sharing each other's stories and us helping to raise the consciousness of this planet through our stories.
Hi, my name is Noah James. I'm a singer-songwriter from Nashville and NFT collector, and released my own NFT project basically to my fans as like a fan club and let them see what I was gonna do all year regarding my music and my music videos and anything I was doing with shows. And basically NFTs kind of opened my eyes and realized like that artists could have like creative control again and not have to like have a label telling you what to do all the time when your fans are the ones that are supporting and making it happen anyway. So that's why I'm here today.
And hi everyone, I'm Angela Rose. My background is music, tech startups, and social good. I play the piano and the harp, but I have way too much social anxiety to perform. That was never like something that was good for me. Shout out to everyone that experiences anxiety that's still here, talking with strangers, making new friends. And then I also I also teach mental health first aid. So I'm exploring ways that we can bring mental health first aid, which is an accredited program for the National Council, into Web3. So I'm excited to be here with everybody. And I work at NFT.NYC, if you didn't catch that before. And I do run their socials, so if you guys are on Twitter, tag me, and we'll chat there too. So, should we start with a question? So what mindset shifts are we seeing with artists in Web3? What do you say?
So, it's for the first time, the artist isn't beholden to a label and it's truly they're able to take themselves directly to their fans without any middleman, and that allows so much more freedom. I would love to hear what Noah, who's been working on his project, how that's been for him.
Yeah, going back to that, I've worked with labels in the past in my journey of doing music, and it was cool, obviously, having someone there or like people there to fund it and help you with do what you want to do as an artist, but at the same time telling you as an artist what to do always isn't, you don't feel like an artist and it feels like a job. And so I just feel like the mindset is shifting to where the creators and artists can get back to like making what they want to make and not worrying about if it's going to work or not, or if they're going to get so many streams, when they just can focus on their small core and grow that and the people that are actually making it happen. And then your fans can fund it and enjoy the benefits from that also. So.
Right. Yeah, and I went to school for music industry with a minor in business, and like one of my favorite professors, they told me you don't need thousands of fans, you only need 100. And with 100, you can drive a premium experience for them that really allows you to have the career that you want. And it was really fascinating because at the time, this was about 10 years ago. CDs were on the way out. Spotify was on the way in. It was, what is this premium content? We were messing around with like USBs because it's like, okay, this is tech. You can swap this out. You can just sell this really easily. You can even brand them. But really, that was just a halfway point. Like the blockchain, what we can do with smart contracts. This is the future of how we really are able to connect from the artist to the fan, for sure.
Yeah, and from a slightly different perspective, I've noticed that the mindset that not only does it bring, does the blockchain bring, but also just like to music and artists, is the sense of like the artist as an entrepreneur now, and there's this accountability that kind of needs to happen from an artist's perspective, and for myself, I have to do everything, and I have to think of it as a business. Like, often musicians come to me and they say, "Oh, I want to drop an NFT, and what platform should I drop it on?" And I'm like, "Hold on, let's like reverse. You have to have such a bigger perspective on what you're actually doing here. It's like, how many are you going to drop? What is going to come next? Why are you dropping this? What is this a part of a bigger conversation of you as an artist, as a brand?" And these are kind of like strategic business conversations that kind of are a bit of a buzzkill, but ultimately they're pure creativity because you're building a world, So there's this mind shift, I think, that needs to happen, or that's not needs to happen, is happening and is being called on, and the technology is just like forcing artists into this new level of power, but definitely like responsibility and place in culture where they matter and their voice matters and what they create matters, and it's not being dictated by an advertising budget or are you going to get #1 streams. I've sold one of my projects, I sold 9 NFTs. That was the equivalent of 1 million streams on Spotify in terms of money. Okay, so you just wrap your head around that for a minute. It's like, okay, you've all heard these stories as well. I'm sure it's not new information, but it's like what that does to an artist is like, okay, wow. So all of a sudden, I now am not being driven by an algorithm. I'm actually being driven by art again. And that is huge for a culture, I believe, because when something is you brand it or has got some monetary kind of what is it called, like agenda, then it just changes everything. So yeah.
So I've been a independent artist for many years, and I've worked with different labels for many years. And when you're working with a label, you have the muscle behind you, and when you're independent, you're all alone in this, for lack of a better term, open sea. But I think now we have ways of really connecting, and people, we all hear the word community, but I do agree that it's 100 people can be more of your foundation to grow your music and your business and your fan base than millions of streams that really don't amount to much. I know people that have millions of streams and millions of followers, and then they do a show and they have 15 people in the audience. We all know what that's like, and it's really difficult. I think artists come to their art to really, how do I make a difference with my art? How do I get out there? How do I get seen? How do I support myself while I'm trying to make a difference and I'm trying to do what I love so much? And now with NFTs and Web3, we were talking about this yesterday. We're able to take responsibility and accountability for how we want to put ourselves out in the world and how the stories we want to tell, how we want to connect with our fans. I love what you're doing because I think that's huge, especially in music, because NFTs you can wrap the ticket in there. When the ticket is there, you're connected. You're really connected with your people. You can share new drops, merchandise, stories, things that, events, and it can start small, but you can make so much more of an impact than the thousands, millions of streams that really amount to, $119. I've seen, that we all know what that's like. But there's so many ways that this can happen, and even obviously we all know that things are kind of looking a little scary in the market. But as long as we stay connected to the foundation of what we're building upon, no matter how much ETH is worth today, that doesn't even matter. This is the ecosystem that we're building upon. This is the foundation that we're building what we're going to do for the rest of our lives upon. And I think that's, so it's not so much about how much it's worth today. It's like, this is what matters, the way we connect to each other, the way we're able to use art in the world, the way we're able to take responsibility for the way we want to be put out in the world, as opposed to, the big labels. And listen, labels are amazing for what they do, but we need to empower ourselves again to do what we love to do. So that's the end of that.
Thank you.
For now.
And I love all of that. And Biba, what you said stood out to me too, is like being naturally driven by art again, right? Like that feels right. And it reminds me, in 2018, I went to the Music Biz conference in Nashville, and it was mostly industry. And everyone was buzzing because the industry's making money again, it's making money again because of streaming. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, where's all that money going? I guess it's going to these folks that are in the industry room, but it's like the artists are getting a fraction of a penny, and you've heard it from almost everyone on the stage here, and I'm sure you've heard it in other chats too, is that it's not the best model for artists. And so for me, it's really exciting to watch these artists come into this space and really dig into it deeply and build that community and take better control over their art, and then not need to go after the algorithms and not need to feel the grind of posting on social media and racking up all of these likes, shares, and comments that really don't feed the soul. What feeds the soul? So I'd love to hear from everyone here too, is how do you even start building the community, right? Where do you begin?
Well, for me, I have this one-liner that rings true across all of my business life and community kind of experiences, which is that communities are built on shared experiences. So the idea is to always think, if I'm going to build a community, how can I offer something that is a shared experience? Like what is happening here today? Of course, there's 15,000 people at this conference, but this is a shared experience that's actually fortifying community. And it's pretty profound with the philosophy that I heard Jody Rich speaking about, was this idea of like mobbing New York or something, and just like spreading the word about this. But what it is this really pivotal moment of like ingraining community and connecting each other through this shared experience. So that's one thing. And then another thing is to contribute. Like whenever I go into a new community or a new space, and like even here, I'm in a new community, hi everyone, I'm Biba, and it's like, what can I bring? And it's like, I'm happy to come and share on stage. I'm happy to offer a meditation experiences, which is what I did on Twitter. I went into Twitter my very first week, and I heard someone say, bring into the community whatever you have to offer. It doesn't have to be an NFT. It can be some legal advice. And I was like, well, I'm a meditation teacher. I'm going to offer this because people are totally strung out, burned out. There's no new business startup pattern that's happened here. It's the same old thing. So I started offering Twitter spaces. I did 40 days in a row of guided meditation. And that was a gift that I could give to the community, and immediately a community started developing around me, and now everybody knows, Biba, when I come into a space, it's like, meditate us, or whatever, And so it's these kinds of things that are so simple, but it's like how we contribute and the experiences that we can create together that bond a community from a psychological, I guess, perspective, as opposed to more of a mechanical perspective of buying NFTs or something,
I really like that, and it's almost like the NFT space is like a digital Burning Man, like you roll, it's like what can I bring to the table, and like that's literally how I broke in, is because I was an artist before I was working as a dever on projects, and I literally was on the outside looking at all these cool projects and these different influencers and everything. I was like, I gotta know what's going on. I gotta get deeper in this, and I just hit them all up. And everyone should do this. Figure out what you do. What mine was music. And I said, your audio sucks. I can make it better, basically. And then from there, some of them got offended. It's because, and then I started wording it a little nicer. That was a joke. I didn't really actually say it like that. But I met a ton of people. And I started, working within the space. And one thing led to another. And then here we are now. So, like, it's thank you. I love that. But when we're talking about community, and whether it's, I've been lucky to be a part of a few incredible ones, and I think authenticity, along with what you bring, is the most important thing, and like part of the cores of, because as soon when it's the NFT space with all, it's so, trust is so hard, because there's so many scams and everything. So. The way that I think the most important thing for a community, especially if you're a leader of it, is authenticity, because people need to know that they're in a safe space, essentially. And if you're able to foster that, then you're a hell of a lot better than most.
Community for me is really, I agree. It starts with value. What can you bring to your community? And that can start with one person. And that might be value in information, value in how you make someone else feel. People, like, how does somebody feel when they listen to your music, when you speak, when you share on social media? And I think, with social media, and the Clubhouse social media, Twitter, we don't see what's behind the phone screen. And when people connect with you, when your community, community is one by one, right? It's not like my community. It's like, how do I connect with each person? And each person is you have that direct connection now with social media. But when you can share something, we can show fabulous pictures on the beach with friends. We all, of course, that's part of social media. But I think when you really bring value is when you come from an organic, authentic I love that word, and that's what I kind of base all my social media on, is like authenticity, and people can feel that. They can feel that in a picture. They can hear that in your voice. They can hear that in your music. And authentic can be anything, but be authentic, because then you have something to base all of your social media on, your business, your journey, where you're going. Because if you're not authentic, at some point it's going to crumble and it's going to collapse when you're out there in the real world. And so that's where I get really, really excited about this new world and this new platform, because we have so much more power to connect with each individual and how we want to present ourselves and how we want to be seen and how we want to share. So I think anybody, and we're talking about this as experts, but every single day we're figuring it out. Like, we're all figuring it out every single day. So we're all in this together, but every single day I'm like, what do I want to post? I want to post something that people are going to connect with. Like, how can I be real? And it might be a couple hundred, a couple thousand, who knows? Sometimes it's whatever post it is, but those moments when somebody reaches out to me and going, oh my God, thank you, I really needed to hear that. That one comment, maybe that day, means so much to me, because that's the community and that's what you build your fan base on. And they care, they really care. It's not just how cute you look in the new outfit. And that's where the value is for me, and that's where I see people really making a difference in this market.
Well, we have 2 minutes left. So
Okay.
please.
Yeah, all of what they said is I agree with completely. And just to add, I guess, like, if you're wondering how to start a community or grow your community, I think it really goes to what they're saying about being yourself and authentic, because naturally the community will grow because people will connect and feel the same way you do, and you'll have common interests or common goals. And that's really what a community is, people with a common goal or with common interests working together for that goal. So when you are authentic, for instance, as a music artist, I always just try to make music that is just what I'm doing or what I feel in life or what I've been through, and never trying to be something or make something that is not authentic to me. And doing that, I feel like I've brought in people naturally to listen to it because they feel the same way. Or when I sing about my wife and my kids, other dads that feel that way want to be a part of the community because they're like, oh, I relate with that, So definitely, I think all you three said is being real and authentic, and that's the number one thing, and everything else comes. So
Amazing. Oh, 1 minute left, so we'll do rapid fire closing thoughts. I'll start. Imposter syndrome is real, so be kind to yourself and never underestimate the power of a deep breath.
apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Music is a sacred expression, a gift in which we can heal and connect more deeply within ourselves and each other. May we each experience and remember the truth of who we really are and find magic and peace in connection to Earth.
I think that music NFTs, specifically the communities around artists, are completely independent of the crypto market and has got pretty much nothing to do with it. I think the blockchain is a reflection of our consciousness, and my mission here is to bring light to the metaverse, and I think we're all have got a part to play in that, and reminding ourselves that this is not about the money.
Beautiful. I just think if you're here today, then you're interested in music and NFTs, and we need you. We all need you. So don't second guess yourself. We are so you could call us experts. I feel uncomfortable calling myself an expert, even though I've been doing this for years and do it every day and get paid to do it, because this is all so new. It's all changing so fast. So get in there and figure out how you make it special. And thanks.
Thank you.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, how many people have aged 10 years in the last 6 months? Or maybe aged 10 years in the last 6 weeks? 6 days? Thank you, everybody. That was fantastic. Right on.